The individual quickly escapes in a vehicle, and a great standby witness is able to provide very relevant information. So, with those key pieces of information, law enforcement is quickly able to address this is not an isolated incident that happens to be a violent incident outside or in the vicinity of the golf course, but a direct threat to Secret Service is saying on the former president. So thereby you have the pieces of information, you have evidence, and thereby FBI takes jurisdiction for yet another attempt on the life of former President Trump.
Something that I think is worth mentioning, I was on the desk here at Live Now when that first assassination attempt happened.
Hey, Ben, how are you?
Former president in Butler, Pennsylvania, about 2 months ago. It took some time for the FBI to officially call it an attempted assassination. In fact, it took some time to really get confirmation that there were gunshots that actually hit the former president. What's different about this situation that we were able to get that confirmation so quickly?
Yeah, so even though it seemed like it was a bit of time, law enforcement was able to determine quickly that this is a direct threat against the former president. Thereby, Secret Service doing what they're doing, they took action. That is, they shot several rounds towards that target. And then, of course, you have an immediate communication to the former President Trump's team to evacuate him to a safe and secure location. And then, of course, your local law enforcement quickly assessing. FBI is the investigative agency that would handle the investigation. And so, as I know, the press conference was put in place pretty quick.
Yeah, I think so.
And probably as a result of the slower response to what we saw on July 13th.
Thank you, Maria.
So, law enforcement is learning and putting into practice.
You don't have to do that. Thank you, Maria. Appreciate it. I'll go get a good cigar.
Accounts.
I'll get a good cigar. I'm smoking on tomorrow's live stream. Thank you. High five, fist bump. Thank you so much.
What I believe was a protective incident. I thought those were interesting words when I saw them. A protective incident as opposed to a shooting in the vicinity.
A short span of time, and so it's evident that we need the highest level of resources assigned to be on his detail and protecting him. There is an
Yeah, I'm gonna get it tomorrow, Maria.
For the events of today.
I'm gonna get a good one tomorrow. I'm gonna get that Ashton VSG tomorrow. I work late, but tomorrow live stream. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Things that went wrong in the days and the hours leading up to that attempt on President Trump's life. And today we do have agents on the ground who were with the president who took swift and decisive action to stop this threat. And the president is safe tonight. So
the good thing is the president, former president, excuse me, is safe.
Who were with the president today.
And you've seen it live earlier with me.
Our work is ongoing to take.
I will enjoy it, Maria.
What resources are there? What resources are assigned? And
I will enjoy it. Thank you so much. I'm going to enjoy that cigar, and what I have right now is a little. Still celebrate my birthday. Got a little Modelo. And just to change the topic just for a second, how about those Cowgirls losing today? They lost. Detroit lost. Eagles tomorrow night. We'll talk more about that.
That have been made that should give American citizens any sort of relief or any sort of optimism that
the Bucks won today. Baker Mayfield, man. They got to work on their offensive line. That poor guy, though. They got to straighten their offensive line in Tampa.
Allocation of resource question. I do believe the level of resources and agents assigned to President Trump's detail has been increased. But
Crystal says, I know they lost, Sal. I forgot. Crystal's a Cowboys fan.
So when we have a threat level that is this significant,
they got to work on their defense, Crystal. So right now,
Kamala Harris, should come out right now.
Right now, yeah. I said it before her.
From Department of Justice to the FBI.
He needs to come out right now.
To put their full force, effort, and attention.
Thank you, Cooper.
And resources on making sure that President Trump is kept safe, just like the other protectees, Vice President Harris and others, should be kept safe if they are under protection. And there is a reality to the number.
Looks like it's raining there now, where he played golf this afternoon.
A finite number of agents. And so we need to make sure that they are able to hire and retain and train the best and the brightest. And if what we're seeing in America today, and I believe it is what we're seeing,
It's crazy.
is that we are just living in an extremely elevated threat environment.
We are.
Director Wray of the FBI has been telling us this. He has testified in front of Congress multiple times and made clear and left us with the warnings about the extraordinary level of threat in our country today, that we need to be taking a serious look at whether we are allocating resources.
I mean, just the other day when I was at this event, guys, my wife was a little worried. You know, all those people. You guys seen me live. There was a lot of people at Trump rally. When we're looking up, I'm going to talk about that a little bit more after we're done listening, though, on the Secret Service. You guys see me live. One Secret Service outside, very rude, and they weren't really, in my opinion, on other buildings that are surrounding the areas in Las Vegas. I didn't see too many Secret Service. It's almost like it's so unreal. It's like they just don't care about the former president. I don't know.
This week, here we are. There's another assassination attempt against the former president, and I'm hoping that maybe answers come a little more swiftly. And what do you expect to hear from investigators in these coming weeks? And can we put pressure on them to give the American people answers quicker? We're going to be 50 days from Election Day very shortly.
And you're making such an important point, because transparency is one of the most critical things that we can provide for the American people right now. And
This is, in my opinion, guys, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable in today's day. You know, it's 2024. Like I said in my last chat, this is not 1974 or 1994. These things.
Press conference. They shared what they knew. Of course, that's only partial information.
These Secret Service, I mean, thank God they spotted him, I guess, like my wife says. Thank God they spotted him. But on the other hand, how did he even get that close?
So one of the things that we will be.
She's doing okay, Cooper. She's worried about her check that she sent me for my birthday. She's doing good. Thank you, Cooper.
So that's one thing.
Yeah, this is definitely today's reality right here.
We'll also have the opportunity,
But
of course, to take a look at his social media, his contacts. What's he doing? What can we learn about him? What can we glean? Now, going back to Butler, that's exactly the type of information. So the first thing that we will hear is really about the preparation, the planning, and some of the things that went wrong that day. We know already that the planning and the site preparation obviously wasn't done adequately.
It's just crazy on how many people, Kenneth,
the buildings that were there at the site,
that hate them. Now, people can hate somebody, and let me just be the first to say, but this is beyond hate. This is just so much hate, and I love that. Maria, we need that today. Yep. Very scary times. I mean, whether it's on, you know,
but that their communication wasn't adequate. So if one person saw
Kamala,
something, another person that was there might not have known it.
or anybody. This is
Foundational to the success of any type of.
so. This is the area right here. So he was on the. So what we know, guys, is he was on the 5th hole, and Secret Service were 2 holes ahead. So when he plays golf, or any president plays golf, they're always 1 or 2 holes ahead.
About this shooter that day and what led him to that moment.
And one of the Secret Service spotted him in the woods, or in the trees rather, excuse me. And
the site has been so important.
That's how they got him.
A number of us have been out
But
there together. Some of us have been out
my
there
question is, how did it even get? So it was like 4 football fields, 400 yards, 500 yards. That's 4 or 5 football fields. How in the hell? If he's playing golf on this Sunday, doing a football games, where how in the hell did they not quadruple check the surrounding areas? And again, I'll say one more time, here in Vegas, me and my wife were looking up at the buildings. There was nobody. I mean, did they, one helicopter, they take this serious. And for me, they're not taking it serious.
Well, that's a great question. I can tell you for certainly.
400 yards is 4 football fields. That area,
applicable here. The things
they should have had Secret Service, police department. They should have had that place 2-3 hours before you play golf and made sure that there was nothing there. And probably kept 1 or 2 Secret Services in that area. You know, where, you know.
We need to do to be sure that the Secret Service is that agency we count on it to be, of agents who are.
Again, if you're just coming in, we have breaking news here. Investigation with Donald Trump.
So that report will certainly have bearing, not just on the investigation and transparency, but on where we go from here in keeping President Trump safe.
Congresswoman Laura Lee, you're doing important work. Thank you so much. Next, the response from Vice President Kamala Harris, Donald Trump's running mate, after the second assassination attempt on his life.
At Typical Insurance, you're just another senior.
That is the third health insurance commercial with seniors at a farmer's market, right?
Just sad, very sad, guys. And I gotta tell you,
That's why I chose.
I'm a little upset at a lot of stuff right here. First of all, I want to talk. I'm watching football like all of us. Not one network, one, any football game, CBS, Fox, broke news. I'm so disappointed as a human being, as a citizen. Fox and CNN, it took them minutes. This happened. I had to get it from my sources. They just like they don't care. And I'm sorry, but that should have been reported. They should have, I'm not saying interrupt the football game, but they should have came on and said, we have an important news right now. At halftime, we're going to talk about it. Former President Donald Trump has been shot at the time. We didn't know about assassination. Nothing. Nobody even comes on and says, my prayers are with him. I'm so aggravated. Nobody. They should come out and say, our prayers are with former Donald Trump. This is not political. Our hearts and prayers go out with the former president on a sad day, on this Sunday, as people are worshiping God and watching football. And not one, okay, came on and says, my prayers are with former President Trump. Not one. I watched them all. That is not good. Let's see what else we can find here.
Cleaner and deodorizer. Just spray and the stain and the odor goes away. Why bend over and scrub? That's back-breaking work. Ugh. Stand up to stains and odors and let bullshit.
Trump is okay, yeah. I mean, that's what matters. Trump is okay, but how many more attacks, Maria? I mean, people are saying, well, he shouldn't be outside. I mean, what's he do? What do you do? We shouldn't have to be like this. This has to stop, this hate. And I believe this Hitler stuff, that should stop. You can hate Trump, and how do you prevent from Trump being president? You vote for Kamala. But the hate on both sides have to stop. These are human. He's not Hitler. And it's horrible for people to say that. And then you get inside some of these crazy people's heads, and look what you have here. Exactly, that's what I just said.
1999. But wait, deodorizing costs, this may be your last chance to get yours. And there's a strict limit of 3 at this low price. So don't wait. Order your bullshot now.
Yeah, it's got to stop.
Welcome back. here to live now from Fox. We are continuing.
I mean, both candidates got to go out there and campaign for the next couple of weeks, and they have to worry about, you know, you can't go outside.
The FBI says it's investigating a second.
And what if you have a Trump hat on, or a Kamala shirt on, or a Kamala flag, or a Trump flag? Is this what this world turned to?
From the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office is that they are working with federal agencies as they continue moving forward with this investigation. At this time, Trump is safe, and those closest to him.
Yeah, the main thing is
that he is
Trump
in
is
good
safe.
spirits. So
He's in
we
good
are
spirits.
Waiting for more details. It's still very active, still very fluid, as you see at this time. So while we wait for that, we do want to pivot to some other top headlines that we are following here. Thank you once again for joining us on this Sunday. I'm your host, Karal Lahara. Let's get into some international news that we are monitoring. Take a look at this here on your screen, some video
and posted the following, quote, I have been briefed on reports of gunshots fired near former President Trump and his property in Florida, and I'm glad he is safe. Violence has no place in America. And then we heard from New York's Attorney General, Letitia James, who said, quote, political violence in any form cannot be accepted or normalized.
Gemma, how are you?
In this country.
God bless you.
Earlier, Florida Congressman Mike Waltz, the first Green Beret elected to Congress, says the loud rhetoric and the violent rhetoric needs to be.
Yeah, I'm glad that was posted right away. But I got to tell you,
rhetoric against
the
President
football
Trump,
games.
This narrative that he will be the next dictator, that he is the next Hitler coming, it has got to stop.
I just said
Enough
that.
is enough.
I just said that.
Stop it on the left for doing this.
Yeah, it has
is
to
bad
stop.
enough that we have an enemy of the United States, Iran, with
Because unfortunately, we're dealing with a world that's just upside down.
one of which was just stopped a few weeks ago. We now have multiple assassination attempts in a matter of months.
By the way, guys, thank Mods. Real quick, let me just say thank you so much, Mods, for that last video. Wow, we had, what did we have, Maribel? 25,000? It was like 25,000 people. You know, I got right on that news right away, and that was great. Mods did a great job. I actually accidentally deleted the video, and I was pissed. So I had to reach out to YouTube, and I want to just say shout out to YouTube. It took me like 30 minutes. And with that video live that was about 2 hours ago during the football games is back up. I accidentally deleted it and it's back up. So hopefully you guys can watch it if you missed it today.
For any violence ever in our country, and I've directed my team to continue to ensure that Secret Service has every resource, capability, and protective measure necessary to ensure the former president's continued safety. We also heard earlier during that press conference in Palm Beach with the Palm Beach County Sheriff, when he was asked why wasn't that perimeter around Trump International Golf Club more secure?
Yeah, that's the big question, guys. Why is
level that he is at right now?
we watched this earlier?
If he was, we would have had this entire golf course around him. But because he's not, the security is limited to the areas that the Secret Service deems possible. So I would imagine that the next time he comes to the golf course, there'll probably be a little bit more people around the perimeter. But the Secret Service did exactly what they should have done.
That sheriff said that the attempted assassin was only 300 to 500 yards away from the former president with an AK-47 rifle with a scope. He said that's not a far
There's Max, Fabian.
that type of weapon. Molly?
Lucas Tomlinson from the White House bringing us the latest information, including that new statement from President Biden. Thank you, Lucas. Charlie?
So what does evidence collection look like following the incident at Trump's golf course? Former Secret Service agent and former CIA.
So what we're looking at here is West Palm Beach, Florida.
For joining us. So, you know, I know that there's some limitation on what you can speculate on here because you don't know everything, but I'm sort of curious about these ceramic tiles, the ceramic plates that were in the suspect's bag, as well as along with the GoPro camera. What do you make of all that?
Well, thanks for having me on. And what I would make of the ceramic plates is that is one of the things used to deflect bullets. He needed to cover As far as the camera's concerned, I can only speculate, but it would seem that he wanted to perhaps film the attack for posterity. I don't know, put it on social media if he did escape. But those are all things that are going to come forth in the investigation. And fortunately, we have a live person to interrogate this time. And so we can hopefully get to the answers to those questions.
Dan, it's Alicia Acuna here. Thank you for helping us out through all of this. I'm curious about this getaway car, because he was able to just place the car and run to it, and it was close enough to him that he could get there.
So they're talking about the getaway car. So here's the map here.
Take pictures of the plates.
So it all happened right about here. Getaway car.
Surveillance camera brought into this, and from the area when he placed his vehicle there.
Well, everyone is under surveillance 24/7, whether they know it or not. So, yeah, it's pretty good. Would be a pretty good assumption on his part that
Yeah, right here.
be observed leaving the area.
So here's the car, guys. Look at the car.
I don't know. You know, once again, those answers are going to come forth when the investigation is completed and he's been interrogated. I can guarantee you he's in for a very long night. So maybe by tomorrow we'll have some of the answers to those questions.
Dan, it's Joe Concha.
I'm glad that the guy is alive,
Suspect in this
so we can get some information.
First 3 questions you would ask him.
Well, I would probably start out by asking him or letting him know what we had. It's like, you were observed behind a fence with a rifle. Why were you there behind the fence with a rifle? What was your intention with the rifle? Did you intend to shoot the president?
Would you follow up in any way, shape, or form as far as, are you working for somebody? In other words, is there another group behind what you're doing? Are you just a solo individual? In other words, it just seems, what we saw in Butler, Pennsylvania was a 20-year-old kid who outflanked the Secret Service. And now we have, again, a lone individual here. So you have to wonder in this case, was he motivated by some other group or something behind him that may have led to
This is beautiful.
That's certainly going to be a part of the interrogation. One of the biggest...
Has Bongino? I haven't heard anything on Bongino. I was watching some football. Janine, sorry. I haven't heard anything. And again, I'm a little aggravated, guys. My Italian temper. I watch YouTube TV, 4 games at once, right? Not one of them came on and said, breaking news. There's been at the time they weren't sure if it was a shooting. They could have said at Trump. Key Largo Golf Course. We'll bring you more information at halftime. We'll bring up the updates and the scores. Not one. That shows you how much hate from the producers, not the announcers, but the producers of these networks. Not one. And I'm also upset at that FBI guy. Goes, well, if he was the president, maybe we'd have more protection. I can't believe he said that. How about you say no political leader, former President Trump, should have all the protection that's needed, whether he's playing golf, he's having dinner, or Kamala's baking a cake, because there's an interview of her making a cake, which is fine. They have a life. How about you say all political leaders? He's running for president. And they just came out and said, they really hate this guy. There's so much hate in this world.
Yeah, and we still have so many questions. Dan Emmett, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
He's going crazy.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking me.
And former assistant director of the FBI.
Yeah, that's a beautiful picture, Cooper. That wasn't that beautiful?
I do have one question regarding this suspect. Law enforcement said that when he...
By the way, the suspect, guys, there's photos of him online, but I did not put it up because it's not confirmed. I know a lot of people here, representatives, Congress, lots of people, and they're not 100% sure that is being showed on other channels. They're not confident yet, so we got to be very careful with YouTube and the regulations because we don't know. There's a photo going around of an older gentleman, but we're not sure. So I like to get the facts. That's why even before I came on, I wanted to get the facts. So that photo that's shooting around, we're not 100% that's the shooter. Not 100%.
Chris, Molly here. I wanted to ask.
Okay, here, hold
this
on.
goes forward, and they're digging into the car and digging into whatever home or apartments or
Right.
facilities he may have. What are you concerned that they may find? Is this an individual that could have planted booby traps? Are law enforcement officers still at risk? Is this someone who's likely to have worked with other people?
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to assume the possibility of bombs or booby traps in a guy like this under these circumstances in their house. So they're going to go in carefully and very deliberately. But I think that the big question here is, how did he know to be at that place at that time, that specific time?
Listen to
I
this.
think that's the elephant in the room here. They need that question answered. Did he get inside information, or did he follow and conduct surveillance? And if he did, how did they not pick up on someone surveilling the former president of the United States who's under Secret Service protection? He's obviously playing this out. He had the ceramics, the backpacks with ceramics to form a little sniper's nest. He was anticipating a shootout. So this, as someone official said, this was not a random person that just happened to show
Hello,
up with
Leopard.
an AK-47.
That's the thing, Chris. You look at the president's schedule, a former president's schedule in terms of Donald Trump, and this golf outing was not on it. So, but yet this shooter or attempted shooter it appeared to know that he would be there. So, what would you do as
Oh, yeah?
far as investigating this?
They
knowing
want
that
me there.
he didn't, there was no public
Where's
knowledge
that?
that Donald Trump would play
No, I
golf
have
today.
somebody
Plays
else.
golf a lot, but yet there he was ready on that
That's the
sixth
same.
hole to take the former president out. So, where would you go from here based on that nugget?
Well, one part of the investigation is focusing in on him and his social media and his electronic devices and all the things that you do to get to round out this suspect. I would talk to everyone who knew about Trump's schedule that day.
How's Maribel? She's doing good. She's watching another YouTube channel.
And interview him. When I was in Iraq, there was an assassination attempt against the Secretary of Defense. And, that was, we talked to everybody that knew something about his schedule, and just, who knew? Who could have possibly...
month and a half since the 28 July election. We've seen thousands detained and arrested. So the human rights violations continue to persist, and I think again,
Love the hearts.
The international community needs to continue to find ways to isolate Maduro and push Maduro.
Maria says hello from the gang, everybody. Maribel.
In an effort to allow voices in Venezuela to determine
She says hello.
the path.
She's on another YouTube channel.
Under, the context of democracy, and I think that is not going to happen unless there is enormous pressure from outside, but also enormous pressure from inside. Venezuelans are going to have to take this fight further and continue to demand that Maduro hand power over, try to fracture the political elite, try to fracture the armed forces or security services, which continue to hold a grip or enable Maduro to hold a grip on power.
All right, guys, listen, I'm gonna.
The international community needs to continue to highlight this.
I'll be back on in a little bit. I just wanted to bring up some latest update here.
On the human rights violations and continue to place pressure on the regime, demanding transition back to the.
See what we can find here. Anything else here?
His social media and his electronic devices and all the
See what
the
this
things
guy-
that you do to get to round out this
I wanna
suspect.
see the picture
I would
of
talk
the
to
person
everyone
they did.
who knew
Oh,
about
say.
Trump's schedule that day, and I talk to every single one of them and interview them. When I was in Iraq, there was an assassination attempt against the Secretary of Defense, and that was we talked to everybody that knew something about his schedule, and just who knew. Who could have possibly leaked this information out?
Charlie Hurt here. Are there any? We've got a hard break coming up, but real quickly, do you see so far any kind of repeats that concern you with what we've seen today compared to
Maybe, Janine. Maybe. She good comment. Is there a mole in Trump's staff?
Yeah, it's a little early, and it's hard for me to see the layout. I'm a golfer.
Maybe.
I understand how how you could sneak up on a golf course in some brush, but I also wonder why the Secret Service wasn't a little.
Yeah,
bit
so
more
was
thorough
Maria
in
was thinking
terms
that too.
of, having someone walking the perimeter while they're walking the golf course.
Former Assistant Director. of
Nothing
FBI,
surprises me.
Walter
Nothing.
Moura, we want to thank
Nothing
you so
surprised
much.
me anymore. Anymore.
The second assassination attempt of former President Trump is next.
All right, guys. So I'm going to be back on after the football game. I just wanted to come on and see what the FBI said. As soon as I get more updated information, but I'll be on tonight after the game. I'm going to watch a little bit of Chicago Bears game and the Houston game. Relax a little bit. I'll come back on tonight. Hopefully we'll get more information. The good news is Trump's okay. He's alive and well. And also good news is the shooter. They can get as much information, if they could get information, as this individual. There is a photo around the internet. We're not 100% confident that's the guy. That's why I didn't want to put it on my thumbnail, because of YouTube's guidelines. You got to make sure 100% it's the shooter. Maybe it's him, maybe it's not. And so when they turn over that information to the media and the news channels and then YouTube, and then I'll put it up there. But hopefully they can pick this guy's brain. Was it him and only him? Was there other shooters? Was there somebody else? Was he the lone wolf? I don't know. Was there a mole, like Janine says? Was there a mole? Somebody in the staff? We don't know at this point. But 2 times, it doesn't matter if you support Trump, you don't like Trump. This Hitler stuff, guys, please share the video, the last video, this video, any YouTube video. Stop the Hitler stuff. I don't know who started it. It's bad. Same thing with bad stuff on Kamala. We got to stop that, because 90% of us are okay. Jokes at the bar, having a beer. He's not Hitler, and the more they talk about this, it just feeds into these cult groups. It's not good. So it has to stop. I'll see you guys tonight after the game. We'll talk in our backyard a little bit. Thank you very much, guys. Maria, thank you for that super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. I'll get a nice cigar. I'll be on tonight, guys. God bless you guys.